Um, I just wanted to come on here. I was briefly looking at Kwame Brown was covering the interview with Nikki Minaj and I think her name is Erica. What was her husband just passed just recently. I can't think of her last name right now, but she was on an interview talking about how she loved Trump, and but her main focus was on standing up for her, standing up for Christians, Nigerian Christians that were being brutally slaughtered by the day by other Muslims because of their belief. And I think people miss the bigger picture. Now, whether Nicki Minaj is doing it for selfish reasons or to get a pardon for someone or to get some type of favor or some type of, I don't know, a favor from Trump to do something for her or somebody she knows. I don't know. I don't know if she has any self-centered reasons for the things that that she's doing. But what I will say is people need to get beyond Republican and Democrat, especially black people. Black people were Republicans, especially in the Lincoln era. President Lincoln was going to, he wanted to abolish slavery. And um, most of black people in that era, 18 in the early 1800s, were Republican. They didn't stop shifting. It stopped shifting of them being Republican and maybe Democrat when Franklin D. Roosevelt and his wife were starting to cater to the black Americans and do programs with the New Deal, program to help the black people and put them on welfare. And then, of course, the voting right in 1965 with Lyndon B. Johnson, he was making it to where black people signing a voter's right so black people could vote. So, of course, he was going to get the black votes, and he was a Democrat. And so, hey Tyler, how are you? And so this is why a lot of black people, our grandparents and our great grandparents, voted to be Democrat because the Democrats were catering due to welfare programs to the African American community. So let me just say this. What if both of these parties are on the same side? Like it's just like people get so into the titles. What about what Nicki Minaj is focusing on? Nicki Minaj is not trying to twerk. And forget about President Trump with the orange skin and the lace front that he has on his head. Forget all about that. Forget about his abrasiveness and all of this. Do you know Trump was the only one that spoke about the Nigerians being slaughtered every day? Not only grown people, but babies and children being slaughtered because of their parents being Christian. What about that? So I think people need to get beyond what is a Democrat, why does she love Trump, and all of these black women that's talking about pro-black. What about Nigerian black people in Africa being slaughtered? Forget about you hate Trump. Look at the bigger picture and whether he's doing it for political reasons, whether Nicki Minaj is doing it for her own self-centered reasons. The fact of the matter, the bigger picture is there's innocent people that are being slaughtered because of what they believe. That is the bigger picture. Get beyond a Democrat. Get beyond a Republican. Get beyond how much you hate Trump and think he's Hitler. Because the truth be told, he's nothing like Hitler. And we don't know basically why Hitler did what he did. To be honest with you, I think Hitler knew, and I'm just going to be honest with you, what he did was wrong, dead wrong. But what I'm saying is, he knew who the true people of Israel was. And it wasn't them that was over there in Germany. Okay, but that's beyond the point. The point is, I'm not excusing what Hitler did, but you cannot compare Hitler and Trump. I'm sorry. Is he racist? Maybe. The point is, he spoke on people that were being slaughtered every day, which America does not cover. Very few news channels cover the things that are going, the atrocities that and the tragedies that's going on in Nigeria, that people that choose to believe in Jesus Christ are being slaughtered. That is the point. Okay? So we need to get beyond what is a Democrat, what is a Republican, because to be honest with you, they all playing on the same team. They act like they hate each other. They act like they don't agree with each other's policies, but they're behind the scenes going to the golf course. They're behind the scenes having drinks and going to these secret society meetings. So who gives a damn at the end of the day? The thing is, people need to look beyond what is a Democrat, what is a Republican. And if you're so darn pro-black, then you should be for the Nigerians that are being slaughtered in Africa, children, mothers, fathers, grandparents, because they want to say that Jesus is Lord. That is the problem. Why is it not Muslims being slaughtered? Why is it not Buddhists being slaughtered? Why is it not Hindus being slaughtered? It's Christians. So get beyond all of the titles, because that doesn't matter at the end of the day. What matters is what is right and what is wrong, what is black and what is white. So if you're so pro-black, if you care about black people, what about caring about black people that's in Nigeria that's being killed? Because they want to say that Jesus is Lord. I'm sorry. I woke up on 10 because it was some fools in front of my door talking loud and laughing. And I had to go outside and tell them, y'all need to cool it down because y'all in front of my door. So when I heard, when I got, when I felt like that and I started watching what Kwame Brown was saying on his platform, and he was basically saying, hey, quit focusing on the Democrats and the Republicans. Focus on what is the bigger picture. And I agree with that. Because the bigger picture is not about titles anymore, y'all. It's about what is right and what is wrong. We got to get beyond that. What is the bigger picture? And people are missing the bigger picture because they're so focused on the minute crap that does not make a hill of beans at the end of the day. What matters the most is what do you see is wrong, and then not speaking on it. That to me is just, you're a coward. It's wrong for Christians. It's wrong for any religion to be slaughtered because they choose to believe in something that's different from yours. And the great thing about America, which they're going to make it even difficult over here in America, is to believe in something and not have to be killed for it. But we don't know how it's going to be in the next 5 to 10 years. If you say, I'm a Christian, in the next 5 or 10 years, I believe we're going to be just like Nigeria, getting our heads cut off, getting our legs cut off, because we choose to believe in a different thing than someone else. And I'm sorry, I woke up on 10, and like I said, people can choose to believe what they want to believe, but don't try to kill someone else and their whole family because they choose to believe in something different. And my point is, people, get beyond how much you hate for Trump. I don't like a lot of what Trump say and do, but at the end of the day, he does speak on things that other people won't speak on, that the news won't speak on. Have you heard around the world about Nigerians being killed, being slaughtered like sheep? Have you heard that 24/7? No, you're hearing about all this other stuff that don't even mean a hell of beans. You worried about Nikki Minaj because at one point she chose to shake her ass instead of you looking at, well, maybe maybe she has something really to say. You looking at her BBL or her butt shots instead of what she is saying now. And whether she is speaking in self-centered reasons or she's speaking on she's doing it in another ulterior motive, right now she is talking about what people seem to close their eyes. They seem to cover their ears because this is going on. People being persecuted for their faith. This is what she's speaking on. Forget that she's on a white ladies panel saying she loved Trump. Who gives a damn? At the end of the day, the bigger picture is she seeing that humans are losing their humanity and killing other people because of their belief system. That's the point. And hello to everybody that came in. Once I get passionate about what I'm saying, I don't really focus on the chat, but I thank you everybody for coming in. But and I'm not trying to be rude, but I just wanted to express that because I think a lot of people get beyond. They look at they are so feminist minded. They're so driven by titles of a party. They can't even see what is actually happening. Other human beings being slaughtered like sheep on a daily basis. You got people trying to hide their Bibles. They can't even pray in public. They gotta hide their beliefs. They gotta hide their children. They gotta hide and find a place to stay and be in safety. When this should be a world that you should be free to practice what you want to believe. But it's okay for some, but it's not okay for others. So whether you like Nikki Minaj and you think she's a slut bucket, whether you like Trump and you think he's close to Hitler, or you hate him because you feel like he's a racist, you feel like this, the bigger picture is right and wrong. And he pointed into a situation, a problem, a world problem that people seem to ignore because it's not where they are. It's not in America. It's not in India. It's not in this place. It's not in that place. But to be honest with you, it's happening all around the world. People that choose to believe in Jesus Christ are being killed daily in Iran, in India, in Asia, all around Asia, people are being killed. All around, Africa, not just in Nigeria, all in Africa, there's people that choose to believe in Christianity and being killed. There's the continents, the countries, wherever you go, there's people that are being slaughtered. They're going back to the Roman days when they would put them in the Colosseums and the lions will go and tear each person limb by limb because they choose to be a believer. Because they didn't call them Christians back then. They called them believers in Christ and Yeshua. So this is what's going on. And people need to get beyond your prejudice and your bias and your feelings, your negative feelings for Trump and for Nikki Minaj. Look at what is being said. Look at what is going on. Open your eyes. Quit being so closed-minded just because of your dislike for someone or for a party. Because guess what? They're all working on the same team at the end of the day. You just don't know it. Thank you guys for coming through. I really appreciate it. If you got something from this, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you are a new person, thank you so much for coming through. I hope that I wasn't trying to offend anyone, but at the end of the day, my voice is just as valuable as any other. And I feel like this needed to be said. Get beyond your prejudice, your bias, your dislikes, and your likes of a person and see what a person is actually saying. What is the meaning of what a person is saying? Is it right or wrong? Is it black and white? Because some things in life is just black and white. There's no gray sometimes. There's no gray in right or wrong. Just like it's not okay to be slaughtered because you're a Muslim or a Buddhist or a Hindu, you're into Hindu. It's not okay to be slaughtered just because you're a believer in Christ. It's not. And I believe more celebrities, more people that have voices with the elites, and whether it does anything or not, at least people are being informed that this is going on, because some media platforms choose to ignore it. They choose to ignore that real people are being slaughtered because of their belief, because they're so busy looking and remembering Nikki twerking and her ass shots, and their dislike for Trump because he has orange skin and he's a racist with the lace front. They're so busy looking at that. They're so busy looking at the Republican. I'm a Republican. I'm a die Republican. Well, do you know that Franklin D. Roosevelt and Eleanor Roosevelt, they was catering to black folks so y'all would vote for them? They don't care. They didn't care nothing about no damn black folks. Because they knew that most black people back then were poor and they were on the welfare system, they catered to the black folks. And then you had Lyndon B. Johnson said, well, these black folks, they gonna vote black Democrat until they die. I'm paraphrasing it, but that's basically what he said, because of what he did in the 1965 with the voter right. And he signed the voters' right so black folks could vote back then. But don't you think he wasn't doing it for other reasons? He was doing it so that black people would support him. But just remember, they're all on the same team. You just don't know it. You have black folks that don't know better, don't know history. We black folks back in the early 1800s were voting Republic. Well, they weren't voting, but they were on the Republican Party. And then, like I said, in 1935, things started to shift when Franklin D. Roosevelt came in with the New Deal. And then people want to vote. It was split. Then they started, these poor blacks said, well, I'm gonna vote Democrat because they said they gonna help us, y'all. Just like they doing now. The Democrats say, I'm going to help all you. And then, I'm going to help all you black people. And they going to help us, y'all. They still doing it. And then you got these pro-black folks want to sit up there and act like they for so many black people. Like I said, when you got straight up Africans over there that's being slaughtered. And you got babies getting their hands and their feet and their legs cut off and their heads they beheaded because they say they believe in Christ. Their parents believe in Christ and they killing their babies, beheading those children. Miss me with the pro-black, okay? Because you can't get over your hate for Trump. And believe me, I don't like Trump's ways. I think he's a nutcase for the most part. But at the end of the day, one thing I can say about Trump, he is going to speak his mind, good, bad, or indifferent. And at least you know he a wolf. He don't pretend to be a sheep. I can respect a person when at least you know what they are. So shout out to the people. He said Abraham Lincoln said he regret having to free the slaves. Yeah, like I said, they all on the same team. And everybody knows, even some of the Jews that's over there, even some white people know that African Americans that have been spreaded, because that is in the Bible, we have been spread it all around the world, are really the true Hebrews, the true children of God. But really, what makes you a true child of a God is accepting Yahweh. That's really what makes you a true child of God. Forget about what tribe you in, because at the end of the day, that's not going to be hell of beans when you meet the Most High. It's about if you accepted Him and His Son. That's what it's about. But again, I don't want to get into uh too much of that. But what I will say is, get beyond all of that and read your history. Quit listening to what your grandmama say, because some of them don't know. Quit listening to what your granddaddy say sometimes, because they don't know. They just know that they voted Democrat and they've always been Democrat. But again, all of them on the same team, if you ask me. They close down in the Congress, you don't think they going and playing golf together? You don't think that they going and having drinks at the bar? You may think they hate each other, but you don't know that. They on the same team, working behind the scenes, orchestrating stuff. And you sitting up there thinking just because you voted Democrat or Republican that you better than the other. Look at the real deal on what is going on. And I don't have to leave no bullshit behind. I don't know who you talking to, but don't come in here with that bullshit. Ain't no mythical bullshit, nothing. What a lot of y'all, I'm just gonna say, a lot of people be living in a mythical world, but I'm not living. I have never been so alive and coherent, than I've ever been now. So I don't know what you're talking about. But the point of the matter is, God's people are really people that stand for what is right. And it's not right that people are being slaughtered. That is the point. So get beyond who's the real Jews. If I hate Trump, if I don't like Nikki Minaj, the real problem is people are being killed. That is the real problem. Open your eyes. Uncover your ears. Let me get this. You're uneducated. You're uneducated and you're a moron. Goodbye. Like I said, read your history. I know about the voting right in 1965 that Johnson signed in 1965, where black people were able to vote. And that's why a lot of people swayed to be Democrats. And 1935, Franklin D. Roosevelt in the New Deal, catering to the black people, opening a lot of basically welfare systems so black people can feel like America is taking care of them. So the uneducated person is you, because you don't know what the hell you're talking about, and you're hitting from my channel. So you can tippity type all you want to, but you are gone. Bye. Thank you, boss man. Hey, Swift. So, like I said, they're all on the same team. So if you think that one is better than the other, you are absolutely wrong. They're all on the same sides. They're all on the same side. You said Nikki Minaj been funny style a lot, and the immigrants come over here and undermine us. I'm not a Democrat. Nikki's husband is a sex offender, and he very well may be. And from what I research, he is. But at the end of the at the end of the day, she is focusing on Like I said, Christians being slaughtered in Nigeria. Like I said, these are not just grown people. These are children and babies. These are children and babies. Hey, Mr. Kimi. Like I said, hello to everybody. Hey, Ben. I'm not trying to be rude. Lauren, M Mac, Ron D, Nick, um, J Dog, KD, Broccoli 55, Chili, Chill, Chef, Allen. But like I said, people are experiencing things like this all around the world. It's not just in Nigeria, it's all around the world. Hi Nicholas. It's all around the world, and people have to get beyond um, why they don't like Trump. Why do they feel like Nicki Minaj is the worst person to say this? This is like Cardi B said. This is embarrassing. Girl, you can't even say a whole sentence, and you talking about now you talk about uneducated. You can't even complete a whole sentence, but you're saying what she's saying, what she's speaking on is embarrassing because she wants to support somebody what for whatever reason. It could be a ulterior motive. Who knows? But at the end of the day, she brought her and Trump brought attention to a subject, to something that was going on that a lot of people in media overlooked. That's the point. And we got to get beyond Democrat. We got to get beyond Republican. We got to get beyond all of the people we don't like. And it's like, forget the mess. I say, forget the messenger. Look at the message, because a lot of people get sidetracked by the messenger and rather than the message. They focus so much on the messenger rather than what is actually being said. What is the attention being brought to? Whether you agree with what I'm all of what I'm saying, the fact of the matter, we cannot say that there's not a right and a wrong in a situation. How would you like not only you but your family being slaughtered, being killed, children being killed, people that you know, because they say, I want to believe in Jesus Christ. I believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, and it gives them the right to do this. What if people were going around killing atheists? People that choose not to believe in God, and people were getting killed for not believing in God. Does that make it right? Absolutely not. So why would it make it right for those who do believe in that? But I bet, hey, nobody will cover that. Hey Dre, how are you? Nobody will cover that, right? So I just changed it around and said somebody that was an atheist that does not believe in the existence of God, and somebody decides, hey, they need to all die. Does that make it right? Hey 309. Does that make it right? Just asking a question. Or they say, well, I'm a Buddhist. I'm going to be a Buddhist. I agree with what Buddha stand for. Does it make it right for them to be killed? I'm just asking the question. This is what she's bringing attention to besides her love for Trump. And why doesn't she have a right to like who she likes? Why does she have a right, whether we like him or not, why does she not have a right to support who she wants to support? Cardi B can. Beyonce can. They can support Kamala, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. They can support who they want to. Nothing's being said. They're not put on a cross. They're not being answered about their ulterior motives. So why is it okay for her to say, I support Trump, I like Trump? I'm just asking a question. These are questions, that I really want answers to. You can type it in the chat as long as you're respectful. The problem that I have, I don't care what people disrespect, not disrespect. I don't care if people disagree with what I don't, what I agree with. That's not the problem. The problem is a lot of idiots don't know how to be respectful in their disagreements. That's the problem. And what is uneducated for you to type something uneducated in the chat? What is uneducated is that you don't have an emotional intelligence on how to express yourself without being disrespectful and rude. That's uneducated. If you just want me to just meet the rubber where the rubber meets the road. So is it okay? It's so for some people it's not a big deal when Christians in Nigeria and other places in around the world are being slaughtered. Is it okay for atheists to be killed? Is it okay for Buddhists to be killed? It would be an outrage if Muslims were being killed, right? It's outrage. The news is going to cover it. They're going to cover it if it was atheists being killed, because most of the world, I believe, is atheists anyway, because people act like they don't even believe in a God anyway. They don't believe in there's any moral right or wrong. So is it okay for atheists to be killed just because they don't believe in God? I'm going to say absolutely not. But do you think the news would actually cover atheists being killed, slaughtered daily? Absolutely. They would. Absolutely. And people would be outraged because how dare you kill people just because they choose not to believe in God? Why is it there not an outrage because Christians are being killed? But you got Trump and Nikki Minaj, the people that are most hated, bringing that to people's attention, bringing that to the world's attention, and it's a problem now. But best to believe, if it was atheists or any other religion, it would be an outrage. And you know it would. And if you say not, you're lying. Christians or believers in Christ are the most hated. And if you're honest with yourself, you know I'm not lying. So let's just stop with the lies. I want to say my opinion is uneducated. It's an opinion, but it also can be proven a fact. This could be proven actually a fact. Just look around you and you'll find out that what I'm saying is not far from the truth at all. Okay? So, again, I'm just asking a question. So, hey, Waterman. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention. You said people want to miss. No, what I was saying is look beyond the messenger and look at the message. See, people are too focused because they don't like the person that they can't see what the message actually is. The message that she was saying beyond, see, people can't hear anything else besides she said she loved Trump and she supports Trump. They couldn't see anything else. They couldn't hear anything else. And then, of course, they couldn't get beyond Nikki Minaj saying this. How can a person that gets ass shots wearing weave all the way down to her knees, shaking and twerking, they can't get beyond that. But her message was, I am against these people slaughtering people because of their beliefs, because they choose to be Christian. That is her message. She wants to highlight what is actually going on in Nigeria. That's what she's highlighting. that the news, the social media chooses not to cover. They don't cover that. They cover other things, but not that, right? So that is what I'm saying. People are focusing on the messenger rather than the message, right? So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And whether you agree with what I'm saying or not, just know that there is right and wrong. And people say that they know right from wrong. Is it right? Is it wrong? Is the question. Now I get beyond the people I like or dislike. What are they actually standing for? What are they actually saying? Again, I'm not a staunch Republican. I'm not a staunch Democrat. Really, to be honest with you, I'm getting to the point where I'm even wondering, will I be voting in the next 4 years? Because again, I believe they're all on the same team. If I can be completely honest, I don't think none of these people care about the American people. And I'm just going to be honest with you, whether they're Democrat or Republican. I'm not going to say everybody thinks like that, but I think majority of them don't care. They only care about their families and their friends. That's what I really believe. And it's time out for me walking on eggshells. I'm going to be bold like a lion at the end of the day, because everybody else can say what they want to say. And this is where I agree with Nikki Minaj. What, like, listen, I got a voice too. I'm not just all about shaking ass. I'm about people, humanity, what's going on. And at the end of the day, if something is not right, I would be a coward not to speak on it, because I'm so worried about what people say, or how uneducated somebody might say I sound, or how crude somebody might think I may, or how I don't have all my ducks in order and my facts and all of that. Like, at the end of the day, I am about speaking what I see as I see it to be true. And I don't think it's right for people that have the same belief system as me, or even if they were different, to be killed, to be persecuted. But it's always really been that way. People, especially believers in Christ, have always been persecuted in the biblical days. So it just goes to show you it's not going to stop, because you still have people that think that what they believe is right, and they have the right to unalive someone because they choose to believe differently. Please say hi to Hunter. I don't know. I don't know Biden's son, so I don't know what you're talking about. Y'all have some kind of weird kind of y'all. Some of y'all are weird. But anyway, that's all I really have to say. Like I said, I don't know any of these political people. I don't really care. Like I said, about a lot of things that they say, because it's only sometimes to get a vote from people. Like I said, you get all these political people that I would say majority of them don't care. There is some people that care about their community. There's some people that are in politics that do care about the world that they're in and around them. But I would say majority of people are about getting a vote so that they can get power and have authority, and make sure that their family and their friends are good. That's what I truly believe. Oh, that wasn't Biden's son. That was my son. He's enjoyed listening. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, honey, because I was like, what is you talking about? Tell Hunter I said hello. I'm so sorry. You said, would you wear Trump's hairpiece? Absolutely not. I think he has a terrible lace front, and I don't like his orange skin. He needs to stop going to the tanning salon or whatever he's putting on his skin. But I would not wear his lace front. It looks ridiculous. So, but anyway, but I don't want to get too comical. Then I'll be sounding uneducated. So you guys have a wonderful day. I just wanted to make sure I said that because like I said, get beyond the messenger and look at the message. Get beyond what you like about a person or dislike. It's about what is right and what is wrong at the end of the day. And a lot of the stuff that people get so self-involved, emotionally involved in, it's really it's not that serious. You got to look at what is actually happening. What is actually going on. And like I said, I don't know about you guys, but I would hate to see uh, somebody's child being beheaded because they choose to be Christian. I mean, that's a terrible thing to see, a baby's legs being torn from them and cut off. It just doesn't make any sense. It's horrible. It's evil. It's atrocious. It's everything that is wrong with the world. So you got to see it for what it is. Get beyond the, like I said, the orange man with the lace front. Get beyond Nikki Minaj twerking with her ass shots. When she's actually saying something and standing for something that's actually right. So you guys be blessed, and I appreciate everything you guys do. Like I said, every now and then, hit me a super chat. I know I don't have the bells and the whistles, and all the different drops to make you guys just so willing to give. But every now and then, give a sister girl some. Okay, I'm not on here for free. But you guys be blessed. Love y'all to Reese's Pieces. And I am out. Bye.